and I'm feeling very excited and happy. I work with women and children to empower them, and I do programs, take charge of your life, and stuff like that. But today I am with Revati, and she has got an amazing journey. I just saw her picture on the Forbes cover, and I was like, wow, what does she do? And what are your mindset, Revati ma'am? I really want you to share because you work with so many women, and I think you will be having the right insights into the kind of problems they face, and you have obviously solved their challenges. So it will be amazing discovery for a lot of our viewers. So why don't you introduce yourself and talk about yourself?
Okay, so I'm Revati and I've been born and brought up in Bombay. So I belong to born in a South Indian family and married to a Bengali, both very conservative families. And from the beginning, I've always felt that I wanted to work with women. It was my desire and passion to be able to kind of make a difference in their lives. And I got an opportunity by way of the work that I do, that I am able to now interact with thousands of girls who are from the lesser privileged background. And mere financial empowerment by way of skilling them is something which actually can change lives. And in the larger perspective, if you actually look at it, then we are talking of that number of thousands of girls who are there would be able to actually bring about a change even in the GDP of India.
I believe because each woman empowered is each family
Yes,
empowered,
yes,
because
so
when you are empowering a mother or a brother, or a sister or somebody, she is going to spread it.
Absolutely.
So I think girl child being the main focus and all, we have spoken a lot about. What I want to understand is, which is that woman that inspired you, or is there a particular woman you aspire to look up to? And has there been a role model in your life, or you have just come across life as it comes?
No, I don't think I've had any role model. I mean, I've never felt that I should be like this one. I actually have never felt that. I've always felt I should work like multiple people who I've seen doing a lot of good work.
Right.
So it's not that one person, but a lot of their work which has really inspired me. I mean, I've felt people who really make a difference in somebody's life are the ones who are actually creating value in society, are
Right.
actually creating value for themselves, and eventually making that woman or that man get up and think that I was nothing, and with this I have become something, and I have been able to change X number of people's lives around me. So uh, today my role model, I can say, are every girl who skills with me, every woman who skills with me and makes a difference in her own life and others'
I
lives.
heard your interview when you
Yeah.
gave for the Forbes
Yeah.
cover, and you were talking about, they are your role models,
Yeah,
the
my
women
role
you
models,
work with.
yeah.
And I identify with that because I work with so many women,
Yes.
and you inspire from each other.
Of
Every
course.
person I come across, I learn something.
Absolutely.
I pick up stuff like that.
Completely.
So when somebody comes to you feeling hopeless, and probably has been gone through a very tough situation in life, what is it that you say to them, or what are the kind of skills you teach them to change their mindset? Because I believe everything starts from a mindset.
Yes, that's right.
You have to have that power belief that I can do it, or I will do it. There has to be a reason.
Absolutely.
So what exactly, because I think you are excellent with the kind of approach you give to women, because somebody who does not know anything comes to you, you just polish them like a diamond, and you let them shine on their own. So what is it that you tell them?
So most of the girls who come to me are actually from very defeated backgrounds. They are leading a life which uh, is equal to or worse than hell.
Correct.
That's what they keep telling me, that my life is not worth living.
Right.
So I'm against giving charity to them as a one-time charity and say, this will solve your problem. That
Correct.
doesn't help solve any problems. So what we do here in our institute is that we are, from the last 10 years I've been doing that. This is my third venture. So my earlier ventures were two taxi training
Correct.
centers.
Yeah.
Today, right now, we are doing the last mile delivery two-wheeler riding center, and then we make sure that they get into a job.
Right.
So when they come here, we make them explore a possibility of being able to lead a better life by the way of the course that we do here, and explain to them that this 45-day course is actually going to change your life.
Correct.
The problem with them are multifold. It's not one problem that they have. So they do not come from a structured background. They come from the backgrounds that very flexible timings of work. For example, if there's a housemaid, she's going once in the morning, coming back home, doing something in the house, going back again and doing one more job. So when they hear that this job is going to be 8-10 hours or 6 to 8 hours, that is the first step they take backwards.
Right.
Because
They don't want to come out of their
yeah.
comfort zone probably.
Not comfort zone. I think they have challenges.
Yeah.
It's challenges. It's not their comfort zone. I mean, I don't think that they would put the comfort of their 6x6 or 8x8 room as against the money that they're going to make. But they have not explored it.
Right.
So they'd rather that they do a 1,000 rupee job, come back, 2,000 rupee job, come back. But here, what we are exposing them to is the fact that you're actually going to be sitting in an air-conditioned classroom doing the training. That itself is going to bring up their self-esteem.
Correct.
Second, post that, you are actually going to get get a license for yourself, which is your own
Achievement.
It is your own achievement. So it's actually like a result.
Right.
So that suddenly, they go back home and say, wow, I did something on my own.
It's giving them growth.
Giving them growth. And
Right.
then they have to learn. Post that, they have to do another test where they get another permanent license. So these 45 days actually help them build that own self-esteem and
Correct.
self-realization and a status in the house that, look, I have also achieved something.
Correct.
So having said that, post that, we simply then send them into bonding with the other girls who are already working. And then the end user training happens, which is mostly on technology. It's an app, it's technology. It gives them such a high
Yeah.
that, they start feeling, wow, I can also do something. That is one challenge overcome.
So, Revati, you would resonate with my thought is when you build up your skills, when you acquire new talents, your self-esteem goes up.
Of course.
This is what I normally
Yeah,
work with women on.
yes.
Ki if you feel you are low on confidence or something like that, acquire some sort of a
Absolutely.
skill, do some sort of a contribution work or something
Absolutely.
where you can contribute to others' life, helping yourself, but at the same time, doing something on a larger scale or for going out of your home and getting in touch with
Yes.
people that will build your self-esteem.
Yeah. So absolutely, and then once the first check home, the first
Yeah.
check that they take back home makes all the difference, because then even people in the family, in their own family, start realizing that she's not wasted her time. She's gone somewhere and worked, and she's actually getting money which is going to help
Right.
get some necessities,
lifestyle
a better
or-
lifestyle.
yeah.
I may be able to have a meal at McDonald's today. These are all aspirations which they all have. So I think we are able to achieve that. So that gives me personally a lot of satisfaction, and I feel because we're not doing charity, we are making
You're
them,
teaching them something
teaching them a way of
valuable things in
yeah.
life, and I think what you're teaching is not a normal
Yeah.
sewing, and
Yeah.
because I've been from a fashion industry, so a lot of women easily take up to doing stitching and
Yes.
embroidery, so these are the skills they're
Absolutely.
comfortable with, but what you are exploring is something unusual.
Yeah.
So what else? What are one or two tips that you would like to give them today? Because I think you have more than thousands of stories of successful girls.
Of course.
Yeah, and it must have left behind some sort of a pointer for you, which you would like to tell the society and the women today. Is from the women who are not from a very well-to-do families, or sometimes even women from well-to-do families need to get out of their
Yeah.
day-to-day trauma or stuff like that.
Correct.
So what are those?
So I think somehow when people talk of unemployment or skilling for employability, a lot of focus has been put on rural unemployability.
Right.
And I think it's a big myth that the rural women workforce is very, very low. That's a myth.
Right.
Urban women workforce is extremely low. It's lower than the rural women workforce.
Correct.
Because rural women are at least going to the fields to do something. But here the whole issue is that there are the so-called lower middle class or middle class families. How much ever they want to work and contribute to the families, there is some social issue of will I go out, won't I go out, should I go out, shouldn't I go out, and that actually stops them from going out and
Doing something.
So the urban women workforce where we are present at the moment, because we are not in any rural area right now, we would love
Correct.
to be, but we are not there right now. So there is so much work to be done even in the urban areas, that to get the women out of urban areas and make them do something. College students, for example. I think a classic example of how they can waste time and do nothing, because college may be 7 to 10 in the morning. You have an entire day where you can actually help and contribute to the family's income. And work flexi hours, we are happy to give flexi hours. You know, across the world, anywhere in the United States or anywhere, there are children doing Maggie
Correct.
jobs, there are doing people doing, girls doing, you know, delivery jobs, petrol filling jobs, cleaning jobs. So I think that's the culture that we actually need to get here by way of skilling.
Correct.
You actually skill. So with us, it's with our this project is not just about skilling. You know, here what we are saying is you skill, and we're also helping you acquire an asset which you would have never thought of.
Correct.
Along with that skill, our project is all about acquisition of an asset worth 60,000 rupees immediately after you finish this course, because at least you have that.
Correct.
Because I have seen that in these families from the BPL backgrounds or something, if there's a brother and sister who are wanting to start a business, and if the brother goes to the father and says that, you know, I need to start this, I need money, they will mortgage whatever they have themselves also, and they will make sure that the money is raised. If that girl says that I want to trade in tomatoes and give me only 200 rupees for the day, tomorrow I'll make 250, so I'll be able to give you that 200 back, or I'll give you 50 rupees every day, and that 200 you've got back. That also people are not willing to do.
I have come across loads
Yeah.
of them.
So-
I've come across loads of women like that, and it is again what, like you said, the conditioning and the environment and the mindset that has
Yeah.
been developing from so many years. Some families are very pro women, and some
Yes.
families are very unbalanced in their approach to guys and girls. You know, so this is I agree. This is a major thing that happens.
But I think it's changing. It's changing.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, with a lot of exposure
Yeah.
nowadays and so much awareness happening, it is changing.
And I think a couple of schemes which the government has also launched, you know, under the Skill India schemes, where there's so much being spoken about Hunar Se Rozgar Tak, you know, so much of Skill
Well,
India.
what happens is ki the schemes are launched, and the person who really needs to acquire them or get help from them are not aware of it. So that awareness factor is also very, very low.
Yeah.
If you say me being into this field of stuff, there are so many things even I don't know as an individual. So the transition between two people, you know, as to going to and fro is totally.
Yeah, but you know, I also agree. I also am of the opinion that organizations like ours, there are many vocational training partners which the
Correct.
government of Maharashtra has or government of India has. The desire and the craziness to want
The
to
passion.
skill
Yeah.
women, anybody to
Yeah.
acquire a skill and work is not equal amongst the beneficiaries. And I think one of the main reasons for that, which I feel we're not able to achieve what we want to, is because all these courses have been made free.
Correct.
Because the minute there is no your neck in the skin, then none of them are going to come. And what is the incentive today for them to come for a course of 45 days every day, spend their own money and come, with the hope that at the end of 45 days you will get a job,
Correct.
is not okay. So I have been appealing to the government to say that allow us to take some money, which we
Right.
will return back after the training is
Correct.
over. Which would help the state and the center achieve the numbers that we want to achieve in terms of skilling.
100%.
So I've made some representations to say that we must do that, because otherwise everybody loses.
True.
So-
I have one more question on your personal level. While you are growing, you know, from a child to a woman and having a family and stuff like that, what are the belief systems that have changed, you know, after you have had these ventures and you have become financially free yourself and helped so many women? How does the mindset change, you know? When you started, you may be having a lot of thoughts and inhibitions and, you know, things like that. Will I be able to do it? Won't I be able to do it? Or should I do it? And sometimes you feel like quitting because you really try hard and you have this vision, mission and dream, and government policies don't work. Things don't go the way you want, and, you know, it's not exactly a piece of cake. So how have you just stood by your belief systems and done it, you know? Because it takes a lot of persistence, I think,
Yeah.
to reach
so-
where you have reached.
So I think nowhere. So I keep telling people that I'm 57 years old, you know. And,
Wow, you didn't look so.
And I'm a completely different human being from
Yeah.
what I was at 25. think
I
everybody changes.
imagine that. Yeah,
I'm
sure.
completely different. Meaning, I don't think I was what I am now. I think everybody changes.
And I think you are going to change much more because the kind of appreciation and the kind of acknowledgement that you get will make your life, I think, more easier to
Oh.
get into the limelight, talk to people. It, you know, develops your credibility and stuff. We are what we are,
Yeah.
but how people look at us depends on
Yes.
all how you portray yourself outside, you know.
So to the answer to your question on what, through what I mean, what happened through when I started, and
Right.
what is it now? When I started this venture, for example, as a child or as a teenager or a 25, 30, 40, the only thing I knew was I loved driving. So that was my passion.
Correct.
But I never ever thought that that passion of driving, I would create a industry out of it.
Yeah.
You know, some people know that, for example, a Sanjeev Kapoor or a Tarla Dalal, or they knew that they would make businesses with cooking.
Right.
For me, no. I mean, I never thought driving, which is as mundane as anything,
Right.
could ever become a business and an industry. And
And
which
it is
would
something
get
which
me-
will never go out of
Yeah.
demand, you know, even if those
It's-
driverless cars come in or
it's,
any technology, but this is something which is going to be there lifelong.
So I consider education or skilling as an industry. I consider these an anti-recessionary industry.
Correct. 100%
Come
true.
what may, recession may come, education,
Will
skilling,
be, yeah.
education will never go out of fashion. It's not a second thing.
And skilling is, I think, a very,
You
very
have to.
powerful way to
It's
become
very,
financially
very-
free,
absolutely.
because anybody can acquire the skill.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So from that point of view, from figuring out whether my driving passion would become an industry, I never, of course, ever thought of that. It was only when I started this business 10 years back, at the age of 47 I started, that when I became a driver myself and I drove for about 10 months on the road, that's when I felt that this can be replicated, and if I can make, say, about 20,000, 30,000 a month after paying off all expenses on one cab, then it seems like a business model that there are people who can make this money, and as a company also I can make this money by having girls on. But I always knew that it would be all about girls. I never wanted to dilute that, because I always
Correct.
wanted to work on empowering women, because I felt that at a point of time in my life when my chips were down, and empowering myself became very critical. So with all my educational background and everything, with coming from a very favored economic status, in spite of that, if it was difficult for me,
Right.
then I felt what was actually happening to women who are from absolutely defeated backgrounds.
I work with this street children and stuff like that, and you know, the kind of belief systems they are developing is so dangerous
Very
for our
dangerous.
coming generation, you know.
Absolutely.
So when people like you come out and, you know, you have this opportunities, they are not exposed to this kind of
They're not
opportunities.
exposed. That is why we
So-
have a mobilization team here in our office, which is my team consists of members who are all have done their masters in social work and all that. So we do a lot of mobilization. Literally reaching the last house.
Right.
We try to do that. 10 years back, I was doing it myself, and it gave me immense exposure and a completely new outlook to what actually is happening.
So
the kind
did
of
people
suffering.
oppose your idea of this when you were
No.
working on this? You had a okay.
I've not had opposition. I mean, I must be fair to everybody around that, whether it's regulators, whether it is the cops, whether it is anybody, we've not had opposition. In fact, people were very happy. They were just
They were encouraging.
very encouraging. There are other issues in terms of challenges, like you said, the government rules might change. Well, we are a very, very regulatory driven industry. So regulations change. So you just have to be at it. You can't give up and say that. So to the question, to your question of, sometimes you feel like giving up. I think that happens with everybody, whichever
Correct.
industry you're in. You get up one morning and say, you just feel your life sinking, and feel like, am I
Right.
doing anything right, Suddenly there's one
Everything
email.
goes haywire for
No,
a
but suddenly
particular
there's
time.
a very positive email which comes. I've always seen that whether it's divinity or whether it is God's intervention.
It's always divinity, because
Yeah.
if you have a very noble purpose in
Yeah.
mind and you're doing some good work, you may feel stuck, you may feel helpless at particular time, but then there is a very strong sign that comes across which encourages you to go
So
ahead. This has been my experience.
Invariably, whenever our chips are down, we've received very encouraging mails, or somebody sent me a letter saying you're getting this award, somebody saying that I will recognize you for this.
So
Then
every
I
time your
feel-
chips are down, you're expecting a big
I
award,
don't
I
know,
think, because
it's like
I can see the amount of amazing stuff over here, and
So it just kind of said, but then I feel no, I think we're doing something right. But yeah, but I've never felt, you know, to be true to my own feelings and my business and my team and everything. I do feel that I really have never felt that I'm doing anything wrong. Not only that, I've never felt that I should shut it down. Um, it is all about I'm finally a businesswoman. I'm not an NGO doing this,
Right.
right? So, and I strongly feel that it is absolutely necessary to sustain yourself to be able to allow others to sustain. If you
Yeah.
don't make money, how will others make money?
Right.
So I have nothing
You're a
against
role model.
Yeah.
You are financially free. They
So-
look up to you,
So
and
they have
yeah.
to, you know, they have to make sure that we. So you cannot be a professional beggar all the time and go begging for money to train people and
Correct.
stuff. You cannot do that. So you have to
Right.
be able to make your own money.
You have to
also.
walk the talk.
So when I realized that, you know, this is a model which we started with, but I've reached 4 out of 5 steps, and I'm realizing that, you know, this is not working out. This may not work out. I'm very happy to pivot it
Right.
and do something else, or add something else, or look at another option.
You're open to changes.
We have to.
No rigid,
We
thought
cannot
process. Yeah.
be. So
Yeah.
if we feel today that we wanted to do passenger movement on 2-wheelers,
Right.
you know, which was one of our biggest commercial models which we could have done, like you have in Thailand and Gojek. You know, Gojek India Gojek has investments from Matrix and everybody possible
Right.
to invest in that. We wanted to do it here as well. So imagine from a Bandra station to BKC, where it's so difficult to get autos or whatever.
Right.
Our girls are just simply dropping people, you know,
Yeah.
as passenger movement. But the regulation doesn't allow it. We started with that. Our business model was on that. But when we realized, no, it's not happening, there's no point fighting the system and saying, I will do that and you punish me. Doesn't work.
Correct.
So we found another model. We said, we'll do parcels. Parcels, nobody can stop us.
Correct.
So we'll start with parcels. Let's put up our proposal to the government and see whether, you know, they must be opposing it for something, right?
Right, there must be
there
some-
must be a law. There must be something. So we're working on it. So I always feel pivoting a business model at every 2-3 months to understand, is this right? Is this wrong? Am I reaching anywhere close to what I started with?
Yes.
And if not, then change. You know,
Right.
As a businesswoman, I would say that
Modify
to
your
everybody.
model the way you're growing
Absolutely.
and whatever wherever you see
To
more better.
everybody, I would say that.
And what would you like to say to those girls and women who want to sit in the comfort of their house and become financially free? Is it
Comfort of
necessary?
their house and become financially free. If they can get flexi jobs which they can do at home, you know, for example, my son does something which is which allows women or anybody to do something at home, and if they're making money in that, you know, it's
Correct.
okay.
Right.
But not everybody can do it, because you may need space.
Every business, everything requires a small set of skills.
Yeah, so and you may need that space in your own house where you have no space to sleep in your house. How are you going to do anything?
Correct.
So whether it's a beauty course, whether it is you know, empowering yourself with another skill and doing, for example, what we do, you know, that's a 2-wheeler, 4-wheeler, whatever. If God was willing to give all of us money without doing anything, you know, then
Then we would be happy going around.
all
Yeah,
of us
I
would have
understand.
done it, right? So I
Correct.
don't think there are any free lunches anywhere.
So now I see your cabin full of appreciation and so many certificates and awards. What next? Are you looking for a bigger venture or something? Are you planning a bigger leap somewhere, or you take life as it comes? You take your mission.
No, I definitely have goals. I mean, there is no
Yeah.
denying the fact that we work on goals.
So we want to
and-
hear something from you.
So, Hey Didi works on 2 verticals right now. There are 2 platforms which we work on. One is the skilling platform, which is skilling for employability, where they skill themselves to get into a job, right?
Correct.
The second platform that we are on is the real-time logistics platform, where
Okay.
it is like a Scootsie or like anybody else, you know, where it's a B2B and a B2C. So I would envision that I want to have at least 10,000 girls on that platform in the year
Wow.
2017, and I would like to get very good valuations for that. And you know, but we are not a really burn model, and I don't really believe so much in burning so much money, because we've not gone for any funding right now.
Correct.
So, but even to go to investors for any kind of funding, and because what do we need money for? We need money to build technology.
Correct.
We need money for capacity building. We need money for reaching the future of technology. We need to do all that. So that you need money, and
Right.
this business is not going to generate that kind of money right now.
Correct.
So in the next 2-3 years, if we can build that platform and create the largest pool anybody has ever created of 10,000 women sitting on the platform of Hey Didi to simply do deliveries and logistics.
Amazing.
I think we'll be the world's largest. And successes of e-commerce companies, the USP of any e-commerce company is how fast and how efficiently or how quickly you can deliver a product.
Correct.
It's the last mile delivery. So if we can solve that pain point, then we are there for anybody to take us over.
Amazing.
So-
And I will wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you for talking to me.
Thank you.
And if you have the time, we will have one more interview with her in future. And maybe you can teach us something more.
Sure,
And I think
definitely.
a lot of us are going to really take home some very important points.
Thank you.
And she just answered one of my emails, and she's open to meeting new people, and
Yeah, of
she
course.
gave me this opportunity, and thank you so much for that.
Thank you.